My wife texted in her girls' group chat about how excited she was for her weekend getaway with a man she barely knew, while I was home paying off her law school debt, cooking dinner, and putting our daughter to sleep. Her friends cheered her. "You deserve it, girl," they said. "Ethan's too boring to notice anyway. Even if he did, he isn't man enough to do anything about it, lol." I did, however. I noticed, and I made sure she paid for every bit of it. My name is Ethan Walker. I'm 35 years old, and for the last decade of my life I thought I had built something beautiful. A marriage, a home, a family. What I didn't know was that while I was building it all from the ground up, the woman I loved was quietly setting it on fire behind my back. Her name is Madison. We met when she was 21, and I was 25. She was working part-time at a campus cafe, juggling classes and talking about dreams of becoming a lawyer. I was working full-time in logistics and taking care of my younger brother after our parents passed. I was never flashy. No trust fund, no fancy car, no Ivy League connections. Just steady hands, a worn-out wallet, and a heart that believed in hard work and loyalty. She liked that about me. At least that's what she said. I was the safe one, the dependable one. She said I made her feel grounded, so I grounded her. I helped her with homework. I paid for half her rent when her roommate bailed. When she got into law school, she cried in my arms and told me she couldn't have done it without me. And when her scholarships fell short, I offered to help. I picked up double shifts, sold my motorcycle, delayed my own plans to go back to school. Every month I paid part of her tuition directly. Part of it became all of it very quickly. She said we were a team. I believed her. After graduation, I proposed with a modest ring I'd saved for over a year. She said yes. I thought that meant something. We got married in a small ceremony. No lavish honeymoon, just a weekend road trip and shared dreams of building a life together. We bought a house 2 years later. A small place, nothing extravagant. She got a job at a mid-sized firm downtown. I kept working my same job, still putting in overtime whenever I could. I handled the mortgage, the utilities, the groceries. She handled her career. Said she needed time to adjust before thinking about kids. I agreed. I was patient. I always was. Then she got pregnant. Unexpected but not unwelcome. I was scared at first, but I was ready. I always wanted to be a dad. Our daughter Lila was born a few months after our 5th anniversary. I still remember holding her for the first time. Madison looked tired but beautiful. She smiled at me like she meant it. I thought, maybe this is when things come full circle. They didn't. Madison took 6 months of maternity leave. I picked up more overtime to cover the gap. I'd come home from work, cook dinner, do laundry, change diapers, bathe Lila, and still get up at 5 a.m. for work. Madison said she was exhausted. I believed her. I told her to rest. She started spending more time in the guest room with the excuse that Lila cried too much. But even after Lila started sleeping through the night, Madison stayed there. I asked her about it once. She said she just needed space. I gave her space. She returned to work a few months later, said she needed to catch up on her career. I supported her. She started going to more networking events and girls' nights, sometimes 3 nights a week. I stayed home with Lila, changed my work schedule, turned down promotions that required travel because I wanted to be there for my family. I kept everything running. Then the comments started. She began talking about how tired she was of feeling like the only one chasing goals, how some of her friends had husbands who were ambitious. One night she laughed and told me one of her co-workers thought I was a stay-at-home dad, like that was something to be embarrassed about. I asked her if that's how she saw me. She said I was reading into things, that I was too sensitive, so I shut up. I swallowed my pride. Again, I started to notice little changes. Her phone was always face down. She changed her lock screen password, started taking her phone into the bathroom. She never used to do that. She began spending weekends away more often. Spa days, work retreats, girls' getaways. Always just one night, always last minute. I didn't have proof, just a growing feeling that I didn't recognize the woman sleeping in the next room. Then it happened. It was a Thursday night. She had left her phone on the kitchen counter while putting Lila to bed. It buzzed. A message preview popped up on the screen. I recognized two names, her friends, Kara and Jenna. The message read, "Girl, I swear if you don't hook up with that gym dude this weekend, we're staging an intervention." My stomach dropped. It wasn't hard to guess her password. 12334 changed to 9876. I know, brilliant. I opened the thread. I don't care if it was a breach of privacy. I had to know. There it was. Message after message. Planning a girls' weekend to a lake cabin. Only it wasn't just girls. Apparently, gym dude from her building was going too. She told them I wouldn't suspect anything. That I was too nice and boring to notice. That I'd probably cook, clean, and change diapers while she had her first real weekend in years. They laughed. They said I was basically her nanny, a doormat, a free ride. My wife's reply? Honestly, if this weekend goes the way I hope, I'll finally have a reason to walk away. That was it. No hesitation, no guilt, just strategy. Planning. How to betray me while I was still feeding the daughter we made together and washing bottles in the sink. I almost broke down. I couldn't. Lily was sleeping. She looked so peaceful. She had no idea her life just changed too, and it was all her mother's fault. I didn't confront her, not right away. I needed time. I needed a plan. Because I knew if I reacted emotionally, she'd spin it, twist the story, blame me. So I copied everything. Screenshots, dates, threads. I met with a lawyer the next morning. Quietly. I moved some savings into a private account. I filed for an emergency custody order, citing her intent to be unfaithful and her admission of wanting to leave. I listed every financial contribution I'd made to her education, our home, and Lila's care. I did all this while my wife kept planning, fantasizing about her getaway. I couldn't stand to look at her, but I had to. I had to keep it together until I had everything. Everything to destroy her for what she did to me, to our daughter. She kept lying to my face for another week, kissed my cheek returning home, saying I love you before bed, pretending to care about Lily, but I saw through her now. I realized how obvious it was all this time, how I ignored so many signs, how I was blinded by love. She left Friday afternoon like nothing was wrong. Kissed Lila goodbye, told me not to wait up, said they might get back late Sunday. I nodded. Part of me was hoping she'd cancel, have a change of heart. But she made her decision. So did I. I packed. I moved Lila and me to my sister's place for the weekend, changed the locks at the house, froze our joint credit cards, alerted my HR that there might be a legal situation coming. She didn't even text while she was gone. Didn't ask how Lila was doing. Didn't check in once. Sunday night, I got one message from her, heading home. Hope you got some rest this weekend. She walked into an empty house. No crib, no toys, no me, she called. I didn't answer. Then I sent her an email with the custody filing, the screenshots, and a single sentence. You said you needed a reason to walk away. I just gave you one. She lost her mind. She said I blindsided her, said I was a coward for not talking to her first, that I was breaking up our family over a few texts, that I was blowing it out of proportion. Her friends started texting me threats, how I was a failure of a man to be abandoning my wife over a mistake. A mistake. I couldn't help but laugh at the message, that they'd ruin me, expose me publicly for being a horrible husband. I knew where one of them lived. Kara. Kara and her husband had us over for dinner one time. I mailed a copy of the screenshots to her home. I'm sure her husband would love to know, right? We went to court. She pulled the classic sob story, how she was the victim, how I was never there. The judge wasn't buying it, however. The screenshots showed premeditation, disrespect, intent. She lost primary custody, got supervised visitation, and had to pay me back a portion of what I contributed to her law school as part of the settlement. Her friends stopped talking to her once she lost the house, and the weekend hookups dried up. Kara's husband reached out, thanking me and saying how sorry he was for his wife's behavior. I never replied. I didn't care. The gym guy? He didn't stick around. Turns out, he had no interest in a single mom with court drama and a wrecked reputation. She lives in a one-bedroom apartment now. Doesn't post much online anymore. Occasionally sends long texts about how I gave up too easily and how she wishes we could go back. She comes by every now and then, drunk, crying hysterically on my porch, begging to be let in. I can't help but feel sorry for her. I feel sorry for Lila, but I think I'll have to get a restraining order. And now I live peacefully with my daughter. I wake up every morning knowing she sees a father who chose self-respect over silent suffering. I'm not ready to start seeing anyone yet. I've started seeing a therapist. I'm focusing on myself, my daughter. Madison wanted freedom. She got it, but in the process she lost the only person who ever truly had her back. And I found something better than love from a woman who never respected me. I found peace.